ago, so while it isn't an official requirement, it's an unofficial requirement. Thus, in order to become Pope, you'll first need to be a cardinal, and to do that, you need to start climbing the Catholic corporate ladder. Step 1, become a priest. Unlike some churches where you can just fill out a form online and poof, ordained, the Catholic Church treats becoming a priest as a real, unique training profession, so you're going to require a lot of education, usually a college degree in Catholic philosophy and then a master's in divinity. In addition to your educational qualifications, you must also be a man, unmarried, and willing to remain celibate. If you meet these requirements and have been working with the church, then you can be officially ordained as a priest, which basically means you get to run the Catholic Church or work with another priest who does. But you want to move onward, and to do that, you need to take the job of the man who just made you a priest. Step 2, become a bishop. Bishops are a much more select group. While there are about 400,000 Catholic priests worldwide, there are only about 5,000 bishops. While priests get churches, bishops get cathedrals from which they oversee a number of local churches. To advance your career, you must wait for a bishop in your area to be forced into that will free up space for you. But you can't just apply because there's already a secret list of potential bishops that's included for years based on current bishops. Assuming you're all these things, your name may or may not be on this list of local bishops. Country known as the Apostolic Nuncio. The Nuncio picks 3 priests from the list, does in-depth research on them, conducts interviews, and selects the one he thinks is best. But it's not over because the Nuncio sends his report to Vatican City and Congress of Bishops who work there reviewing potential appointments from around the world. If the Congress of Bishops doesn't like any of the 4 candidates, they can tell the Nuncio to start that name is given to the Pope, who can reject the candidate and start the whole process over. It shouldn't be a surprise that from vacancy to a bishop's replacement can take months and, on occasion, years. But assuming a bishop in your area retired or died at the right time, and you were on the secret list of good priests, and the nuncio picked you, and you made it through his interview, and the Congress of Bishops approved you, and the Pope didn't veto you, poof, now you're a bishop. But you're still not on top. The penultimate promotion is step number 3. Become a cardinal. Despite the fancy name and snazzy red outfits to match, cardinals are not the bosses of bishops. They are bishops, just with an additional title and additional responsibilities, the most notable of which is electing the new pope. The only way to become a cardinal is to get the current pope to appoint you as one, and of the 5,000 bishops, only about 200 are ever cardinals. But let's say your ambition doesn't go unnoticed by the pope, and he makes you a cardinal. Now it's time to play the waiting game for his death or retirement, and with popes, death is vastly more likely. When either happens, the cardinals under the age of 80 are brought to Vatican City, where they are isolated from the outside world, presumably by taking away their cell phones and tablets and carrier pigeons. Once sequestered, the election of a new pope can begin. These elections are never exactly the same because the ex-pope leaves instructions on how he wants his replacements to be picked, but in general it works like this. 4 times a day, the cardinals go to the Sistine Chapel to vote, and to become pope, one of them must get a 2/3 majority. There's a big dose of mustn't be too hasty here, as the cardinals don't just raise their hands or use a modern preferential voting system, but instead write down one name on a piece of paper, stand before the altar, and say a long Latin phrase before officially casting the ballot. Once all the cardinals have done this, the votes are counted and then burned. This is why TV news stations covering the election of Pope use super modern HD live streaming cameras to look at a chimney. If the smoke is black, no new pope. The high victory threshold and tediously slow voting process is why it takes so long to elect a pope. It's usually at least 2 weeks of voting, 4 times a day, 6 days a week, with 1 day a week reserved for prayer, but the record length is 3 years. Assuming you eventually win the support of your fellow cardinals, you have one final thing to do before becoming pope. Pick yourself a new name. There's no formal rule, and you can name yourself anything you like, but it's tradition to take the name of a previous pope. Upon the acceptance of your new name, the final ballots are burned clean to make the smoke turn white and announce to the world that a new pope has been selected. So that's the career path. Be born into the right half of the population, become one of 1 million Catholics, then one of 400,000 priests, then one of 5,000 bishops, then one of 200 cardinals, wait for the current pope to die or retire, and convince 2/3 of your fellow cardinals to select you as the one, the only pope.
Knock it off, Bubble. He's probably really confused and scared right now. You getting in his face is not helping. Zubal's being nice to me?
He doesn't seem scared to me.
What is going on? You put on a headset, now you're stuck in a digital escape forever. Welcome to your new home.
Still calling it escape, Zubal? Really?
That's what it is.
Zubul, for the last time, this is the amazing digital circus, not a digital escape.
I think my size represents it a lot better. Why does no one know who I am? Why is Bob the ringmaster? Why don't they hate me? Hey, I know this must be really confusing for you. My name's Bonnie. I arrived here 2 days ago.
哥哥救我！
Still figuring everything out.
啊！
Everything will be
Ah.
okay. You've just got
吓
to
我一
take
跳
it one step at a time.
喂，
Thank
教
you.
学不用。
They all think I'm like them. I can work with this. I'll just pretend to be human until I figure out what's going on. Ugh, this is getting boring. Hey, dental plan. Do you remember your name?
Jax?
Right. Humans don't remember their names. No. I don't. What? No freaking out? Ugh, lame.
No need to worry.
What?
Hey, no one remembers their name when they enter the digital circus. After all, one of the few things I don't have control over are your minds. Your new name could be anything. Hereby acknowledging that your chosen name and or names may not reach the digital circus user license.
No. I don't want to commit to the new name. What am I going to do?
Now, you
What?
can either pick your name, or you can just let me choose for you. So, what's it gonna be?
Okay.
你要黑色的椅子吗？
That's interesting.
对。
妈。
But you haven't met the last two humans.
皮克敏到底是什么啦？问阿强啊，阿强皮克敏到底是什么？就是长这样哦，那么丑，那就不晒嘞。丑死了。
Knock it off, Bubble. He's already really confused and scared right now. You get in his face.